The Bills. Bills versus Dolphins. This was a shocking game. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was. I had a feeling like when I was doing my game picks and predictions, I had a feeling it would be a close game just because the Dolphins have been playing pretty decent as of late. But I ain't expect the Bills to just flat out lose like that. And this is
Yeah,
it's something that I noticed with the Bills that a lot of people are starting to come around to, which is very interesting to hear about this MVP caliber QB. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Mm,
I will say this though, for their defense, they have a pretty. It's not a bad defense. I was looking at their overall rankings, and for the most part, they're about a middle of the pack defense. They're not terrible. They're not bad. They're pretty mediocre. They're one of the best passing defenses. But I think the reason why they're one of the best passing defenses is because they're one of the worst rushing defenses.
mm.
A lot of teams are deciding, you know what? Let's not pass the ball. Let's run the ball. And what we saw from Miami is an inserted effort to run the football. Ashan had 174 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on 22 carries. That's an inserted effort to really take advantage of that Buffalo's bad defensive front. And because of that, the Dolphins were able to win. And also Jalen Waddle as well. Jalen Waddle was amazing this game. He had 5 receptions, 84 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. He had that touchdown against Maxwell Harrison, the first
Yep,
round
he did.
pick, which is a bad sign if the first round pick is getting picked apart like that. The Bills, I said this before the season. I tried to warn you. I tried to tell you guys that Josh Allen gonna have to be Superman this year if they got a shot. Because where is the talent outside of James Cook? Where's the talent? They have a good offensive line. I'll give them credit. They got a good offensive line. But outside of James Cook, who can you trust at receiver? I was watching film. Josh Allen was making an inserted effort to give Keon Coleman the ball. And sometimes it was on Josh Allen. He could have thrown a better ball to help Keon Coleman out. But for the most part, Keon Coleman, his lack of speed and his lack of ability to win on press coverage, it's not helping Josh Allen at all. There's no explosiveness. There's no dynamic. There's nothing dynamic about this offense because the receivers can't separate consistently enough. This is a problem. And this is why in our previous episodes, I said Bills have to trade for a receiver because they don't have the explosiveness on the offense. And it showed itself this game, no matter how many spectacular plays Josh Allen, no matter how many times he's able to escape in the pocket. If you don't have the talent to separate consistently, if you don't have the talent to get open, you're not winning many football games. You're not scoring many points. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. What were you going to say?
Okay, so what I said was that's disappointing or interesting to hear from this MVP level QB is that if you stop James Cook, you pretty much stop the Bills entirely on offense. I mean, it is ridiculous how this is I don't know what game this is where what their Bills record? They're what 5-4?
They're 6-3 right now.
6-3, 6-3. I think all three of those losses, James Cook has been shut down or neutralized, and they lost the game. And that is ridiculous. I know, like people saying to release Keon Coleman and all kind of stuff. I mean, listen, the front office did have a do a poor job of surrounding weapons, putting weapons around Josh Allen. But for MVP QB to say if your running game gets shut down, you pretty much have no shot. That is saying something because
Yes.
there's been
Yeah.
time. Like, look at Mahomes. Do you think the Chiefs got a good running game? Nope. People
No.
they got Xavier Worthy, but like he literally won a Super Bowl without his Juju Smith was getting real targets in the Super Bowl when he won, and they still ain't had
Mhm.
that great of a run game. Shoot, even Lamar, he was getting his game off when they had Mark Ingram out there being one of the lead backs. I mean, this is getting out of hand. The Bills, as much as people want to look at them as contenders, I don't see it. I know you got Josh Allen, of course, anything is possible, but like if you can't produce offense outside of the run game, then what you
Mhm.
really don't have a shot, especially in the AFC. It's a lot of tough teams over there. So it's just disappointing to see the Dolphins. This response from the Dolphins that they're competitive week in, week out shows that I think the team still believes in Mike McDaniel, like it's, at least the players, because they still going out there and competing. They haven't fully quit or anything like that. So I do think Mike McDaniel probably gets another year because of the
Ugh.
way the team has responded to all that stuff. But Tua has to go. Tua still isn't great in my eyes, but at least Mike McDaniel's job might be safe. But then again, they could lose out and then he gets fired. So I mean,
I think he
who
gets
knows at
fired.
this
I think
point?
he's cooked. I think he's cooked.
He might be
If
because
you're
some
if
teams won't get a heck of an offensive coordinator.
they
Once he's
fired Chris Greer, I think the next domino is going to be the coach
oh, true.
and it's going
Yeah,
to be the
because
quarterback.
yeah, usually you don't want to bring like a new GM in and he don't get to pick your staff or whatever. So I could see
Yeah.
that.
Especially if the opportunity to get a Ty Simpson or a Mendoza, like come on, Fernando Mendoza.
True.
I think the writing is on the wall for the Dolphins, especially if you just cut Tua and then draft a quarterback in the top five. It's pretty simple what they're going to do. If they're a small organization, that's what I would do. Just clean house, start over, new GM, new head coach, new quarterback, and go from there.
Do you
But
think this is kind of a quick sidebar? I don't want to spend too much time, but do you think organizations will be more risk risk averse as to paying QBs this large, like top end of the market money? Because there's a lot of QBs making $200+ million or close to that hasn't worked out. I mean, Kyler Murray, he ain't at 200 mil, but he he was getting outplayed by Jacoby Brissett up until the last game. Um, Trevor
mhm,
Lawrence hasn't really made no noise. Obviously, Tua up there sticking up the joint. Like,
I,
is this
I don't
quite a?
think so.
So you still think they're just going to continue to be
Turns
like,
out
okay,
there,
the dude is borderline top 15. Let's give him top end of the QB money.
nah, I don't think so. I think organizations are always going to make dumb decisions because they're
Mm.
desperate. You look at the Dolphins, you look at the Jaguars, you look at the Cardinals, look at all these teams. It don't matter what they do. If you draft the quarterback in the top five, or the top 10, and by like year three, they have that one good season, and then they're just getting close to time to extend their contract. They want to prove to the organization, to the ownership, that they made the right decision in drafting the quarterback. So they're going to overpay him. They're going to show like, hey, we were right, just so they can keep their job. This is going to continue to happen. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody says. Look at Brock Purdy as well. Like it's always going
That's
to happen.
another QB I was about. I forgot the name.
Teams are dumb. Like there's more dumb organizations than there are smart organizations, and I just think it's never going to not be the case where teams are going to overspend because quarterback is the most important position in football. So they believe that, hey, we just surround this quarterback with enough pieces, we got a shot. When that's just not the case most of the time, especially with a quarterback like Tua. We said it before when they signed that contract. When Tua signed that contract, we were like, oh my god, he just finessed the Dolphins. Like he really just took them to the cleaners because I didn't think he was worth $200+ million. You didn't think he was worth $200+ million.
Nope.
But understanding the market, understanding the scarcity of the QB position, teams are going to panic. Teams are going to be like, well, We don't want to be wrong. We don't want the perception to go out there that, oh, we were wrong to draft him over Justin Herbert. Let's resign him so we could justify it. That's the mentality. Even though Tua has had so many concussions, so many injuries, even dating back to college. It's the pride, it's the ego. It doesn't matter if it's logical or not, because at the end of the day, people are gonna not think with their head, but more so with their feelings. It's always gonna be this. It's always gonna
Mm.
be this.
Sucks for them.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm looking at I'm looking at next gen, and you're absolutely right in regards to the Bills, and because remember when they played the Falcons and they lost, James Cook didn't have 100 yards. He had 87 yards rushing that game. And then this past game, they couldn't run the ball at all. So you're absolutely right. Like, really, this offense goes where James Cook takes. It's not Josh Allen. It's literally James Cook. If James Cook has a good game, this offense is unstoppable. But if James Cook has a dud, this offense is hard to watch.
Yeah, especially
That's
because
that's yeah.
was Kincaid out this game too? I want
Kincaid
to
was
say he
playing.
was. Oh, he was playing.
Wait. I think it was Knox that was playing. I may be
Oh,
wrong. I think it was Knox. I get them
it,
mixed up.
it's bad. Them receiving options is bad. Like outside of Khalil Shakir, who's solid, it's slim pickings out there.
Yeah,
It's
you're
very
right.
slim pickings.
But you
Imagine
know,
having an
that's
MVP quarterback and your offense is running back or bust.
but you know what's crazy? Like we always talk about the comparison between Lamar and Allen. To me, this is an example of why I've always been on more the Lamar side of things than the Allen side of things. Is because Lamar has had to he's had pretty much scraps and had to figure out a way to build with it, to work with it. While with Allen, he's in the past when he had Diggs and all these other guys, he's had far more talent than Lamar. But you know, people will say, "Oh, Allen's better than him." And I'm like, but Lamar, he doesn't have a number one receiver. He doesn't have a number one running back. And yet Lamar's winning MVPs and he's doing this, that, and third. But now that Allen, with less talent, is trying to figure out, okay, how can I still generate enough points? How can I still be dominant without a number one receiver, without a good passing attack? Lamar he's had to deal with that for his pretty much 80% of his career up until this point. So it's just interesting to me how we see what's going on with Allen, but like Lamar's early years, he was dealing with that a lot, and he still was able to win a lot of games. He was still able to produce a lot of points with one of the worst play callers in the NFL, in Greg Roman. It's just, it's just funny. It's funny.
Greg Roman must have had some type of renaissance moment because he been eyeing in LA.
Yeah, in LA, you know, after a few years, but like he was with
Yeah, when he
Baltimore.
Ravens, it was ooh.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny, just staying in this conversation. If you remember, there was a time where people thought that Kyler Murray or Jalen Hurts was better than Lamar Jackson. Remember that?
You talk about that was that Dan Orlovsky that said that or someone like that?
Whoever it was, there was a conversation.
Yeah.
And part of that is because the lack of weapons and the offensive play call was bad. And yet Lamar was still, if you watch the film, still playing at an elite level. It's just the players around him was just bad. And so now I'm looking at Josh Allen, and Josh Allen has a pretty good offensive line. He has a good running game, and yet he can't consistently generate enough points week after week after week without Stephon Diggs. Now, people want to point to, well, last year Josh Allen was amazing and he didn't have Diggs, and you're absolutely right. He did play amazing. He did. I'll give him credit about that. But What's going on with this year? Is my question. Why can't he produce the same way this year that he did last year? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
Beats me.
Anywho, I don't want to keep talking.
He's already, he only threw 6 interceptions in the whole entire season last year. He's already at 5.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, obviously, but compared to his MVP year.
Yeah, right. Well, that
some regression.
The Mickey Mouse MVP year.
Lamar should have won that MVP, man. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, he should have won. All right, let's move on.